Hi everyone, Tassif here, back with a live stream. It's great to see there already are people here waiting for me. Thank you to my viewers. Please write something in the chat window. Tell me who's here. My friend Terry is giving me not one thumbs up, not two thumbs up, not three thumbs up, but four thumbs up. Terry is very happy. I can tell because I think Terry is happy for the same reason that I'm happy, um, which is that Donald Trump has won the South Carolina Republican primary. My friends, what an amazing victory. I'm going to go into the discussion, but before that, I'll probably wait for a little bit, maybe wait for a minute, minute and a half. In the meantime, please write something in the chat window. Let me know who's here. And it's a weekend, it's Saturday, so I appreciate your time. I know on Saturday people like to relax or they like to go out, have a good time with friends, family members, watch a movie. There are so many things to do on a Saturday. But if you are here tuning in to listen to my live stream, I am so very thankful. I'm very, very thankful. Let me see who's here. I know Terry's here, and Terry is happy. So am I. And there's so much to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. Terry writes, I expected Trump to... Yeah, you know, Terry, this was a major victory. This was such an amazing victory. Oh my God, Trump won South Carolina primary, Nikki Haley's home state. Oh, this is so amazing. Oh, I love it. I love it. So, all right, we are past 2 minutes. I'm going to wait for maybe 20 more seconds and then I'll jump into the discussion. But, you know, whatever you want to discuss, write something in the chat window. Write something in the comments. Let me know if there's anything else you want to talk about. I'm going to be talking about the South Carolina primary, but anything else you want to talk about, please write it. And I'll try to pay attention to the chat window and we can continue the discussion. All right, we're past 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Let me get started. My friends, congratulations to Donald Trump for winning the South Carolina Republican primary. It was predictable. We predicted it, right? Anyone who pays attention to politics knows that Trump has overwhelming support from Republican voters. Okay, let's see. Badgerden writes, I just found your channel and subbed. Great content. Well, welcome, Badgerden. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. Please stay connected. My channel focuses on social and political issues, both domestic and international. And I publish videos and I also do live streams. So please stay connected. Thank you for subscribing. And I look forward to seeing you at more during more live streams in the future. So thanks for being here today. My friends, as I was saying, anyone who pays attention to politics would know that Trump has overwhelming support from Republican voters all over the country. Now, what's most remarkable about the South Carolina GOP primary is that Trump defeated Nikki Haley in her own state. Badgerden writes, Trump 2024, make America great again, mega. That's what's on everyone's mind. Trump 2024. We're all saying Trump 2024, make America great again. I put a Facebook post up this morning, and in which I wrote that South Carolina is ready to make America great again. So, so Terry writes, it appears she only won 3 counties out of 35. Well, I haven't paid attention to the county counts, like how many counties Trump won, how many counties Haley won. So Terry, thank you for sharing that data here. Thank you for sharing that information. Well, you know, if you are the governor of a state, and if you were a high-profile official like the U.S. ambassador to the UN, and then you run for president and you get defeated in your own home state, the state that you in which you served as the governor. How can you lose that state? Nikki Haley lost in her home state. Once again, I don't have anything against Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is a great political figure, but hey, you have to understand reality, understand logic, understand reason. 2024 is not the year for Nikki Haley, and it's very obvious. She lost when you look at the caucuses and primaries that already took place. She lost, and then she was waiting to see what happens in her home state, and she lost in her home state. So this is a very, very embarrassing situation for the Haley campaign. Nikki Haley defeated in her home state, and Trump, he's a happy winner. He's happy. He has won. And, it's just amazing. So the question is, what's next? Right? What's next? South Carolina primary over. Trump won. Haley lost. What's next? Will Nikki Haley now drop out of the race? I don't know, but based on the reports I've seen so far, it seems that Nikki Haley will continue campaigning. It seems that she's not going to drop out of the presidential race. Although at this point, it's very clear that Trump will be the GOP nominee. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a political pundit. You don't have to be a very experienced political analyst to figure this out. Trump is going to be the GOP nominee. It's very clear. He's being supported by Republicans all over the country. Grassroots Republicans, American citizens, Americans who want a stable economy, Americans who want border security, Americans who want peace and prosperity. They are all supporting Donald Trump. But I think Nikki Haley is going to continue campaigning. And she's free to do that, That's what's great about this country. You are free to do what you want. You want to keep campaigning in spite of facing so many losses? I mean, you're free to do that. But the American people stand with Donald Trump. Republicans overwhelmingly supporting Donald Trump. Let me ask a question. All right. So you can answer this. All right. Nikki Haley lost her home state. Do you think there's a single state that Nikki Haley can win? There are so many states left, right? Primaries and caucuses are coming up. Do you think there's a single state that Nikki Haley can win? If you think there's a state that Nikki Haley can win, please write it in the chat window. Going back to the same thing. If you can't win your own home state, why continue campaigning? The voters have spoken. Trump is the favorite. Trump is the front runner. He's going to be the GOP nominee. And, the governor of South Carolina, was on the stage tonight with Donald Trump. Okay, as he delivered the victory speech. I'm gonna check one quick thing on my phone here, and I was gonna look something up. All right, so the governor of South Carolina was on the stage tonight with Donald Trump as he delivered the victory speech. It was an overwhelming victory. The people of South Carolina, clearly, they want to make America great again. So now, going forward, my friends, all eyes are now on Super Tuesday, okay? Super Duper Tuesday, I call it. No, it's Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday is on March 5th. And, although it's called Super Tuesday, I think it's going to be a really Super Tuesday for Trump. I think for Nikki Haley, it may not be so super. All right, because I predict that there will be more losses for the Haley campaign on Super Tuesday. All right, and if you don't agree with me, if you have other views, please share your views, share your opinions in the chat window. And my friends, I see there are quite a few people joining this live stream. So uh, if you are here but you have not written anything in the chat window yet, please write something. Give me a thumbs up, wave, put a smiley face, just write something. Say hello so that I know who's here. Okay, my friends, Super Tuesday. What are the states and areas uh, that people will be talking about on Super Tuesday? So, what states and areas are we talking about when we say Super Tuesday? So, let me give you the list here, okay? Alabama, red state, all right? Alaska, Arkansas. I think all of these will all of these states will go for Trump. California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas. Oh, the amazing, wonderful, great state of Texas. There's going to be tremendous support for Donald Trump in Texas. All right. Utah, Vermont, Virginia, and American Samoa. All right. So that's the list for Super Tuesday. And I know that Super Tuesday is going to be very, very interesting. And what I'm going to do is I will be having some discussion on my YouTube channel in the days leading up to Super Tuesday. So prior to Super Tuesday, I'll be discussing, and I'll be trying to share. I'll try to share, updates and information from the various states leading up to Super Tuesday. There will be some predictions. There will be some analysis. But my friends, I think we know what we can expect. I think we know that Trump's going to win. He's going to win more delegates. He's going to win more support. His campaign is going to gain more momentum, more victories for Donald Trump in the month of March. My friends, let me ask you: Can you I've asked this before. Can you name one state where you think that Nikki Haley may win a primary or a caucus? A single state. If you can come up with a name, let me know. Let me know your prediction. Okay, I'm going to look at the chat window. Let's see. JW writes, welcome, JW. Thanks for tuning in. JW writes, I hope he wins, but I think for general election, it's going to come down to Michigan and or Wisconsin, so it'll be very tight. JW, you are correct, I think. I see what you're saying, and I think that's true. Wisconsin, battleground state. Michigan, battleground state. So the 10 electoral college votes in Wisconsin are so important in a general election. And I'm more aware of Wisconsin politics, obviously, because I live in Wisconsin. But Michigan, the Midwest is very important. Okay, in a general election. So in Wisconsin, the reason why it's a battleground state is it's a purple state. People call it a purple state, is because in a statewide race here in Wisconsin, it's hard to predict who's going to win. Sometimes a Republican wins, sometimes a Democrat wins. It's very hard to predict who's going to win a statewide race in Wisconsin. And if you look at the overall map of the state, and after an election, if you look and see if the map is red or blue, most of the map is red because there are because most of the state there are Republican voters. They are the majority, but there are some very big blue areas. If you look at the map of Wisconsin, Dane County, where I live, okay, Dane County, which is the county where you've got the city of Madison, the state capital. Dane County is a heavily blue state, Democratic area. Milwaukee County, heavily blue, and there are some uh, other places in the state, particularly college towns, that are very heavily blue. But if you look at most of the state, it's red. And that's why, if you look at the state assembly and the state senate, we've got an overwhelming majority of Republican state representatives and Republican state senators. But in a statewide race, when a candidate is running in a statewide race, it's very hard to predict whether a Democrat will win or a Republican will win. So yes, in a general election, I think uh, there will be, as I like to say, all eyes on Wisconsin. Okay, the road to the White House. All eyes on Wisconsin. Wisconsin is going to be extremely important, and so will be Michigan. And there are some other states like Arizona, Nevada. Those states will also be extremely important, and there'll be a lot to talk about um, regarding these states going forward. So, the question that I asked you, can you name one state where Nikki Haley might win a primary or a caucus? So, Badger Den writes Nikki could probably win um, Oregon or Washington State. I now that you mentioned these two names, I'm going to have to look at some of the poll numbers from those states. So, Badgerden, thanks for your input. Maya Sisters writes, "Hi everyone, hi Maya Sisters, thanks for joining. We are talking about the South Carolina Republican primary victory for Donald Trump. What an amazing victory, my friends! By the way, let me just tell you, I published a podcast episode just a short while ago. It's on my YouTube channel. It's a podcast episode, but I put the video version on my YouTube channel. And in that video, in that podcast episode, I talked about whether or not Chicago and New York may go bankrupt. Now, I know it sounds strange, and I mentioned that in that episode. It sounds strange when you think about big cities like Chicago and New York, and you ask the question whether these cities will go bankrupt. But these sanctuary cities, if you pay attention to what's going on, if you pay attention to the politics in Chicago and New York, if you pay attention to what the politicians are doing with taxpayer dollars, it seems that these sanctuary cities may actually go bankrupt because of the border crisis and because of the influx of migrants. Now, if you have not watched that video, please do so. Please do so. And if you like the video, share it with your friends, family members, and neighbors. Sanctuary cities like New York and Chicago, they are spending massive sums of money on the migrants. They are taking dollars away from hardworking American taxpayers and spending those dollars to provide housing, food, and so many other services to the migrants. And if that continues, those cities are going to run out of money. Those cities are going to run out of money. So it's, watch that video. And so that's why, my friends, I keep saying that we need a strong Republican president in the White House. And not only do we need a strong Republican president in the White House, we need conservative leaders in cities and states across the country. So if you have local elections coming up, if you are voting for, if you're voting in elections for to elect city council leaders, or to elect a mayor, or to elect village board members, town board members, county supervisors, vote for conservative candidates. because we need conservative leaders in cities and states across the country. We need leaders who can say no to sanctuary city policies. Liberal politicians and their policies are hurting the American economy. Let me look at the chat window here. Let me pause for a second. I see some comments. Uh, so Maya Sisters writes, don't think she will win any state. And Maya Sisters is referring to Nikki Haley, I think. But I think she should campaign for as long as she wants. It's a democracy. Let her lose and run her race. That's exactly right, Maya Sisters. Nikki Haley is free to run for as long as she wants. If she wants to keep losing and if she still wants to continue running her campaign for president, she can do that. That's what's great about our country. If people want to run for office, they can run. I always encourage people, if you want to run, you can run for office. And, but don't you think that Nikki Haley must consider the reality of the situation? You follow logic, follow reason. And if you can't follow logic and reason, just look at the numbers. I mean, every caucus, every primary, Trump is winning. And when you lose in your own home state, what does that say? If people of your home state don't support you, if Republican voters in your own state don't support you, why continue with the campaign? But she can go on. That's okay. Teresa Ross is here. Teresa, thank you for being here. Teresa is waving. So Teresa writes Trump and then a thumbs up. Exactly. Victory for Trump. What an amazing evening. What a wonderful evening. And this is remarkable. I mean, tonight it'll be written in history books. Nikki Haley running a presidential campaign. She lost in her own home state. And it's not like this loss came out of the blue. I mean, people knew that she was going to lose. And I think she knew that she was going to lose because all the surveys, all the polls, everything, all the analysis showed that Trump would win South Carolina. But Nikki Haley decided to go ahead and still continue with her campaign. And now she is facing this embarrassing situation. And so, she still wants to go on. She wants to move forward and head towards Super Tuesday on March 5th. That's fine. That's fine. But, I think we all know what's going to happen. There'll be more losses for Nikki Haley on March 5th, Super Tuesday. So, my friends, I was talking about the possibility of Chicago and New York going bankrupt. It may happen. It sounds crazy. I know. It sounds crazy. But it may happen if these cities continue to spend money on the migrants. These cities may go bankrupt. Okay, let me pause and look at a question that just came. JW writes, Tassif, do you think she will still continue with her campaign till Super Tuesday? So JW, I was looking at some news reports because obviously Trump had a speech after winning the primary, and then Nikki Haley also spoke. Although I have not watched Nikki Haley's speech tonight, but I've seen some news reports. So I read some news reports, and it's being reported that Nikki Haley is going to go forward with her campaign because she is reportedly now looking at Super Tuesday. So JW, to answer your question, it seems that she's going to continue with her campaign, and she wants to see what happens on Super Tuesday. But anything can happen if Nikki Haley, overnight, if she has a change of mind, or if she suddenly realizes tomorrow or day after tomorrow or later in the week that hey, it's really not a good idea to continue with the campaign, then she might drop out. But what I'm telling you is that based on the reports that I've read, it seems that Nikki Haley is going to continue campaigning, and she's free to do that. It's a bad idea. It's an unwise decision because I don't see that she's going to win on Super Tuesday. I don't think she's going to win. I can't come up with a single state in which I think she might be able to win. But if she wants to go on, let her go on. And it's a good thing for Trump because, you know, Trump is gaining momentum. With every victory, Trump is gaining momentum more and more. So, as I was saying, the border crisis continues to get worse. And so I think, there are lots of voters. There are many people who voted for Joe Biden in 2020 who now regret voting for Joe Biden. I know there are those people out there who voted for Biden, but now they regret voting for Biden because they are suffering because of inflation. They see what's happening at the southern border and the crisis, and they see the lawlessness, and they see, crime going up in so many parts of the country. And so I think there are many Democrat voters, and I've said this before, I think there are many Democrat voters who are probably moving away from the Democratic Party. There may be Democrat voters who decide to stay home on election night and not vote for Biden. I'm talking about November 2024. I think there will be Democrat voters who are going to decide to stay home and not vote for Biden. Or they may go to the poll and vote for other candidates, but they may not vote for Biden. And independent voters, independent voters are so important, and especially in a battleground state like Wisconsin. In a battleground state like Wisconsin, the independent voters are extremely important, and these are folks. They don't necessarily vote for one party or another. They make their decisions based on the current situation in a state or in the country, right? There are many people, independent voters, who sometimes vote for Republican candidates, sometimes they vote for Democrat candidates. And, sometimes what they do, on the same ballot, they may vote for a Democrat for governor, and they may end up voting for a Republican for the Senate. They may vote for somebody for the U.S. House. They may vote for a Democrat for U.S. House. They may vote for a Republican for governor. I mean, there are those voters who are not necessarily, straight Republican voters or Democrat voters. They can split their votes, and so the independent voters are very important. It's very important to win the support of independent voters. So what might happen in November 2024 is that independent voters may decide to vote for Trump because Trump keeps his promises. Now, I know that there are folks out there who complain about Trump tweeting and, Trump saying funny things, so on and so forth. But don't you want a president who is outspoken? Don't you want a president who knows good humor? Don't you want a president who is willing to say what's on his mind? Don't you want a president who communicates with the public? And every time Trump tweeted, every time he went on Twitter and he wrote something and he sent a tweet out, he was communicating directly with the public rather than sitting down in a studio for an interview, which then gets edited before it's broadcasted. Don't you want a president who is directly communicating with the public, not just every day, but several times a day? Don't you want a president like that? Don't you want a president who answers reporters' questions rather than walking away from reporters? Don't you want a president who does press conferences, who is always answering questions, and a president who doesn't, who's not afraid of any questions? He will answer any question. He'll tell people what's on his mind. Don't you want a president who keeps his promises. That's exactly the kind of president that Trump was in his first term. And that's why I think after going through 3 years of Joe Biden, 3+ years at this point, after going through 3+ years of Joe Biden being in the White House and staying away from question and staying away from press conferences, I think a lot of independent voters are just sick and tired of what's going on in the country. And I think a lot of independent voters are going to vote for Trump because Trump kept his promises. And if elected again, he's going to keep his promises again. My friends, people want a stable economy. People want border security. People want to see peace in the country and around the world. And around the world. My friends, America plays a very important role in ensuring peace around the world. And so if we have a strong president in the White House, a president who can help maintain great relationship with our allies, a president who can govern, as we say, peace through strength, a president who can ensure peace through strength. We need a president like that, and that's Donald Trump. We need a strong American president. And who is it going to be? Donald Trump. Let me look at the chat window here for a second. Yeah, so my sisters writes about Chicago. Yeah, there are many people in Chicago, American citizens, who are upset with what's going on. American citizens in Chicago, they feel left out. Chicago faced many challenges in the past. And now the challenges are getting worse because the liberal politicians in Chicago are taking taxpayer dollars and spending those dollars on the migrants. And who are the migrants? These are foreign nationals who are here in our country illegally. They are not legal immigrants. They are not folks who get visas, immigrant visas, and they enter the country and they come here and work hard and they follow the laws, they follow the rules, they pay taxes. The illegal immigrants are here illegally. They are in violation. They are violating our nation's immigration laws. And the liberal politicians in Chicago are rewarding these illegal immigrants by giving them free housing, free food, free medical services, free this, free that, free so many other things. But nothing's really free. Somebody's paying for stuff. And who's paying for these things? The American citizens, the American taxpayers. The American taxpayers. They have to bear the expense. But the stuff that the illegal immigrants are getting, it's free for them. They don't have to pay $1. It's free for them. Paid for by American taxpayers. My friends, it's let me pause again and look at the chat window. JW writes, I hope they'll vote against Biden Democrats. Yeah, I am hoping that many independent voters will vote for Trump. They will vote for Republicans because they don't want to vote for Biden and the Democrats. So let's hope that the American people will make their voices heard. They will go to the polling location, they'll vote, and I'm hoping they'll vote for Donald Trump for president. But before we get to that point, there's still the primary that's ongoing. And Trump continues to have a challenger. That's Nikki Haley. And so, let's just hope that we can go through this primary and that Donald Trump can officially become the GOP nominee for president. We know he's going to be the GOP nominee for president, but let's wait for the official certification when he officially becomes the GOP nominee for president. Let's wait for that. My friends, the Republicans are united, and there are still a few people who are voting for Nikki Haley. I mean, she keeps losing the primaries and the caucuses, but she gets some votes. She gets few votes. So there are still some Republicans who are voting for Nikki Haley. They probably think that she can be the GOP nominee. And People are free to vote for who they want, but here's the reality: Nikki Haley can't win. Trump's going to be the GOP nominee. So it's time for the Nikki Haley voters to finally realize that, hey, you know what? Let's look at the bigger picture. Trump's going to get the GOP nomination anyway. Let's vote for Trump. Let's support Trump, because here's the bigger picture. Republicans will have to win in November 2024. We have to win the White House. We have to win Senate races so that we can regain the majority in the US Senate. We have to win congressional races because we now have the majority in the House of Representatives, but we must increase the size of that majority. Right now in the US House of Representatives, we have a very slim majority. So we have to work hard. We have to win races so that we can increase the size of the Republican majority in the US House of Representatives. So increase the size of the majority in the US House, regain the majority in the US Senate, win back the White House, and once we can achieve these, then we can make America great again. We can do that. My friends, that's possible. It can be done. And November 2024 is going to be the most important election of our lifetime. We have to win. My friends, thank you for tuning in to this live stream. I appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who joined today. Terry Dunlap, my friend, thank you for being here. Maya Sisters, JW, Teresa Ross, and am I missing someone? Badger Den. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining this live stream. I really appreciate it. And please check out the video. Watch the video that I published not too long ago talking about Chicago and New York. And any video that you like, please share the link with your friends, your family members, and your neighbors. And also, I want to highlight one thing. I do send out e-newsletters with many updates. I talk about some political events that I've been at. I share my blog posts. I share links to my letters to editors that get published. So if you want to receive my e-newsletter, it's free. You can unsubscribe anytime you want. If you sign up for my e-newsletter and if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. You can do that anytime. But if you want to sign up for my e-newsletter, please let me know. I'll need your email address. And you can, if you want to sign up yourself, go to my website, tausifanam.net. On the homepage, if you scroll down, you'll see a place where you can put your email address in and you can sign up for my e-newsletter. I try to send one out once a week, but sometimes I'm busy, so I end up sending one out maybe once a month. But I'll try to send it out weekly. That's always my goal. Sherry is here. Hello, all. Sherry, thanks for joining. I'm about to end this live stream, but I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope that you can watch the replay. Please do that. So as I was saying, sign up for my e-newsletter so that you can get updates from me periodically. So if you want to do that, just let me know your email address, or you can go to my website and sign up by entering your email address. So my friends, thank you all for continuing to watch my videos, for continuing to join my live stream. I appreciate it very much. And I'm so very happy that Trump won the South Carolina Republican primary. It's a wonderful weekend. And now we're looking at Super Tuesday. There'll be so much to discuss as we head towards Super Tuesday on March 5th. Thank you all once again. You all have a wonderful night. And I'll be back again with more videos, more live streams, more commentary, more news updates. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.